Ya Rasul Allah. Allahumma salli ala. Let's recite with Surah Fatiha for all of your marhumeen. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين سيما بقية الله الأعظم روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Whenever we plan to do something, undertake a task, chore, or any sort of thing in our life, no matter what aspect of our life it is, whether it's your studies or a house chore or a weekend project or even your work, whenever you have a task at hand, the worst thing and the worst way of organizing is to make out a list of things to do, make out a big list of things to do, and then try to tackle them one by one. This sort of endeavor and this sort of effort is frustrating, it's fruitless, and it really makes you hopeless of achieving anything. Whether you're in college, whether you're in school, whether you're in your career, this is not the way to organize life. This is not the way to organize things. And in every aspect of life, you just can't make a list of things to do and say, you know what, for this I need to do this, that, and then try to do it one by one. You will see that you never achieve anything. And that's why a lot of people become hopeless. And they become frustrated and they just give up. A better way of doing things is to see all the things that you have to do and find amongst that list that one essential and important thing that can solve many problems. You see, if you're intelligent, the way you would approach it is, okay, you have a list of things. I'm not going to do all of them, but I'm going to identify that one special thing that can solve many of my problems. And just try to do that one thing. This is in every aspect. This is what I'm saying is going to help you in life. Whatever you want to do in life, you will see that this is the mistake that many people make. Instead of identifying that one issue that can solve many problems, they try to do all of them, and it never works. It never works. For example, let's say in our own self-development and our akhlaq, we do many things that are wrong, and we want to solve those problems. For example, I'm not saying this or anything, just as an example. We may lie. We have the habit of cheating. We have the habit of backbiting and doing ghibat of others. We have the habit of making fun of others or joking around. You see that? So all of these things, now we make a list of this, and then we want to tackle one by one. And then we go and start doing like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to do ghibat, I'm not going to do ghibat, I'm not going to do it. And you come to the masjid and boom, it's gone. You meet other mu'mineen and there you go. Someone does ghibat and you are a part of it. And what happens with that frustration? You know what? I was so good, and I was trying so hard, but it failed. Well, that's not how you solve the problem of ghibat and backbiting. That's not how you solve the problem of doing haram or these type of things. Well, then what is it that we should do? And I want you to understand what I'm saying. As a principle, I'm saying this. My friends, my brothers and sisters, the first thing to do is identify that one thing that can solve many problems. That can solve all of these problems. Ghibat, lying, cheating, I don't know, whatever haram there is. It can solve all the problems. Is there a golden rule? Is there something that is so kilidi that, it will solve all of these upper problems altogether? All of the above. What is that? So Allah, you need to give me that. Otherwise, I have no hope. Right? If Allah doesn't give me that key that will solve all the problems, then I am working in this fruitless endeavor. It's not going anywhere. So you know what happens? Allah said, okay, I'll give it to you. So what is that one thing that will solve all of these problems? Allah says in the Quran, that key issue, as-salatu tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar. He says, namaz will eradicate all haram from your life. He said, just concentrate on your namaz. Concentrate on your salat. You see that? This is called a key issue, a golden rule. That if you use it, it will solve all the problems. Your ghibat problem solved. Why? If you concentrate and focus on your prayer. The reason that I do ghibat is because my prayers are weak. The reason that I am doing haram is because my prayers are weak. Because Allah is not lying when He says this. Allah doesn't lie. Allah says, listen, you do prayer, tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar. All haram will disappear in your life. Concentrate on one thing. See, that's why Islam, Allah made it easy, He said. You may just do one thing and everything will be solved. So in every aspect of life, we have an issue that's there. That is so important that if we can just deal with that, then the rest of the problems in that aspect of our life will be solved. So I gave that as an example. So now we come to today's majlis and today's speech after I gave that introduction. That one is that one rule, and this is necessary for all of you parents out there. Anyone who's married and has young children out there, today's majlis is essential for you. And if you don't listen to what I'm going to say today, you will regret it 20 years from now. 20 years from now, you'll be like, wow, I messed up. And I have been here working in this field for 40 years now. 35 years. Not to push it. I'm not that old. I look old, but I'm not that old. So what happened is that, and I've seen how many households produce terrible children. And it's not that they are bad people. It's not that they didn't do right. They did everything that they were supposed to do. Everything that ulama said on the minbar, they followed. They brought their children to Sunday school. They moved to cities that have Islamic schools. And they did whatever they can to make sure that their children are raised properly. But you know what? With all of those efforts, it didn't work out. Why? Because again, this is what they did wrong. They made a list of things and say, let's tackle one by one. No, that's not how you do things, my friends. That's not how you raise children. This is the wrong way of raising children. You will get frustrated, the child will get hopeless, and he will have psychological issues growing up. He will have issues growing up. That child who's growing up, like all these people who are like rigid and strict, don't do that, don't do this, that child who's being raised here will be like gone. You think really Allah wanted this to happen? Is this what Allah intended? And how we raise our children and how we make our household? Of course not. Of course not. So what is it? What is that thing? That's what I'm going to speak about today. That one thing that we need to follow in our life that can solve all of these problems. There's one golden rule Allah gave. That if you follow that in your life, as a parent, you are going to be successful in your life. Listen to this carefully so you know what you have to do in order to raise children that are proper. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. My friends, that golden rule, and I'm going to say it right now, and this is going to be the hypothesis, and then I'll give you the reasoning later. All right? Simple as that. What is that golden rule that we must follow as a husband and wife who have children or are planning to have children? Those whose children are now adults and gone, inshallah, we hope for miracles. And we'll pray for miracles. Right? But miracles can happen. It's okay, miracles can happen. But those who still have children that are young, listen carefully, because this is going to change your life. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. My friends, to give an introduction to what I'm going to say, just a small introduction. Allah's qualities, Asma'ullah, Allah's names, they are divided into two. They're divided into two. All the names of Allah, they're categorized into two groups. One is the Jalal of Allah, the other is the Jamal of Allah. There are certain qualities that represent Allah's Jalal. Jalal means His rage, His anger, His pride. Like, for example, He is Aziz, mighty, Qahar, powerful, that He is Azim. See, these are like Jalal qualities of Allah. He says Allah is Jalal. Jamal qualities are the more subtle qualities of Allah. Like, for example, Ar-Rahman, Rahim, Latif, subtle, loving, kind. These are the Jamal qualities of Allah. Allah has these two groups of qualities. And what Allah did in our creation, listen to this carefully, is that He gave all these qualities on everyone, but He gave more of the Jalal qualities in men and more of the Jamal qualities in women. This is what He did. If you look at a man and the qualities that is manly, you will see that there is that rage, the anger, the pride. These things are in man. It's not that they don't have Rahman and Rahim. Of course they have Rahmat also. But you'll see that that would be their characterization in general. But on the other hand, when you look at women, they have the Jamal qualities of Allah. They have that love, that mercy, compassion. Understand it very carefully. These things. Allah put it in them. So now what happens? The golden rule in this, which I'm going to get to, is that Allah wanted the authority in the house to be of the father. He gave the role of authority, of hakim, of hukumat to the father, and He gave the role of the love and the nucleus to the woman, to the mother. The father is supposed to be where the authority comes from, meaning commands. What is authority? Authority is do's and don'ts, right? Do's and don'ts should come from the father. Allah gave him that. He says, you give the do's and don'ts to the children. He gave the role of love and nucleus to the woman, to the mother, that she is the glue that keeps the family together. And you'll see that. I'll explain it. These two things are there. Now these roles Allah wanted them to have in the house. My friends, the role of authority should never go to the woman. And the role of love should never go to the man. Understand it very carefully. So what is the golden rule now? What is the golden rule? The golden rule, my friends, is this: that the mother is the one who creates the obedience to the father. The mother should tell the children, obey your father. Listen to what he's saying. And the father should tell the children, respect your mother. Never disrespect her. You say, and you look up at your mother, then you have to deal with me. See this. What are they doing? They are both enhancing the position and status of each other in the house. That's it. Allah kept the household, and He kept it in the hands of two people, not one. He didn't make one person in charge of the house. He has two people in charge, the mother and father. Listen to what I'm saying carefully and apply it in your life. Now that role that is there, who's going to make that role come about? Both of them have to do the work now. The mother is the one who tells the children to respect the father, obey him. And the father is the one who tells never disrespect the mother, always love her. You see that? She's made great because of him, and he is made great because of her. See this working relationship that's there. See how this working relationship is. This is where tarbiyat of Islam starts. Tarbiyat and training starts in this environment. Let me explain it now. Send a salawat. My friends, when we say authority, authority is where command comes from. Amr and nahi. Amr and nahi, command comes from authority, not from love. So when we say, for example, the mother should never be the role of authority, her language is the language of love, not the language of a ruler. The father's language is the language of a ruler. He maintains discipline in the house. That's how these two are played. So, for example, what do you mean by that, Maulana? Well, here's what I mean. The mother should never speak like a ruler. Like, for example, she shouldn't say, don't do that, or do this. Blah, blah, blah. This is not the role of the woman, of the mother. So what's the language of love? The mother should say, here it is. The mother should say, if you love me, you would not do that. Or if you do that, I will not forgive you. See this? This is the language of love. That's how a mother speaks to the children. She brings her love in the middle. If you love me, I would not, I will not. If you disrespect your father, then you know what? I will be angry at you. See that? That is the language of love. That's the language a mother should speak. The language that a father should speak should be different. Now, it doesn't mean that, the father knows more. No, brother, that doesn't mean that. Many times it's the mother who knows more. The father knows nothing. Right? The father knows nothing. The mother knows more. So what should the mother do in that situation if she knows and she has learned Islam and the father is ignorant about Islam and he doesn't know? What should you do in that way? My friend, still the mother should not be the authority. She should tell her husband, listen, the children need to know this. You tell them that. They need to know this. You tell them that. Teach the husband to talk to the children. That's okay. That's okay, my friends. You know, there's nothing wrong if your wife knows more than you. But the role has to be played right. She should let him be the one in front. This is the golden rule. And if you don't, then the children who don't are raised or who are raised in a house that is not following these roles are raised imbalanced. Now you teach them anything good, they will never learn it in the right way. Yes. You teach them how to be brave, they become oppressors and zalim. You taught them bravery, they ended up becoming criminals. You taught them humbleness and humility, they became cowards. Why they became cowards? Because they are raised in an imbalanced house. The balance is not right in this house. This is where the role playing comes in from, my friends. I'll give some examples for you, real life examples, so you understand what I'm saying. Send the salawats. You know, this father, I recited a nikah of a youngster. And a few months after the nikah, the father comes to me and says, Maulana, my son wants a divorce. Few months. What is wrong with the children of nowadays? Few months later, he wants a divorce. See if you can talk to him, see what the reason is, what the problem is. Well, when I saw them, I understood the problem. I didn't need to ask any questions from the son. I just looked at him, asked him so what's with your wife? Nothing, we don't get along. Okay, that's it. So that's the reason that you decided to leave her? Divorce, that's it? Friends, so what happened is that, father asked, Maulana, did you come to any idea of what's going on? I asked him, tell me, when your children were young, did you used to insult your wife in front of them? Did you used to put her down and make jokes about her intelligence and how dumb she is? Tell me, did you used to do that? Maulana, what does that have to do with anything? He said, I'm sorry, that's the reason now your son has no respect for women. He has no respect for women now. You are the one. Because if he cannot respect his mother, if he saw his mother being disrespected, then who else he is going to respect? That's it. You are the reason why he ended up like this. If you had given respect to your wife and made her feel important in the house, the children would also grow up to respect their wives also. That's it, my friend. A lady came to me, Quran teacher in an Islamic school in America, and she came to me and said, Maulana, and she came with a resume. I'm a Quran teacher for this many years at this school, and everyone knows me in the community. I give majlis also and this and that and all these things. Okay. Are you looking for a job here? I don't have a job, He said, no, my daughters stopped wearing hijab. And I am a Quran teacher. I teach Islam and I give majalis. And now these girls are not wearing hijab. And wow, subhanallah. He says, all right, so yeah, I just asked her one question. He says, well, what about your husband? Where is he in this? Oh, he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything. I have to do all the work in the house. I teach the children. I do all these things. Wow. Okay. I already know why your girls are like this now. I said, what happened? He says, you destroyed the respect of the authority in the house. Since childhood, you put him down and insulted him. And Allah put the father there so that when the children learn to obey him and respect him, eventually they will learn to respect and obey Allah. Today, if your daughters are not respecting Allah and do not obey Allah, it's because you are the one who made this. You destroyed that authority in the house. You destroyed the wilayat in the house. Friends, this is how it works. The golden rule Allah gave us, don't worry about this and that, Sunday school and all these things will be only useful if the house is managed in the right way. The roles are managed in the house. The roles have to be managed. And each person, these two, husband, wife, need to create the status of the other person. The mother should be creating the status of the husband. The husband should be creating a status for the wife. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now this is a worldwide problem, but in our situation, it's a much bigger problem. And the reason it's a bigger problem is because of the you can say, construed ideology in the West. They regard the woman's role as nothing. They regard a role of a woman as nothing, as something that is belittling. You know, like for example, say, you Muslims, we don't treat the woman like you all do, You all have, for example, women who are pregnant in the kitchen barefooted. And they give this picture. I said, okay, the barefooted part is because of culture, man, because our floors are clean and your floors are not. And that's why you wear shoes. But tell me, was your mother ever pregnant? Your mother was pregnant, right? And did she make food for you all? She did, right? So what is this example you're giving? I mean, it's a ridiculous picture, but they paint this picture to give you this, oh my God, really? That's how Muslims treat their women? What are you talking about? This is what everyone does. But you know what your problem is? You never recognize the power in the meals that mother made. You know how much power that food had in you, in your upbringing? You never saw that. You never recognized that. You always looked down on that. You never saw the importance of that pregnancy that she has gone through. That's why you're making a joke of this. Otherwise, you would never say such a thing to tell the people that, oh, she was pregnant. Of course she's pregnant. Where do you think that you came from? The pelican dropped you off? Come on, man. You came from a mother who gave you birth. So just calm down. The West destroyed the image of a woman to such an extent that women are ashamed to become women. Now they want to become men or play the role of men now. That's what they have done. If they have recognized the role, the importance, and the power of a mother, they would never had put it down. And this is where we come from. My friends, in these two roles, one Jamal and Jalal, I gave you this, the man and the woman, the husband and the wife, the mother and the father, tell me, which of these two roles has more power? Don't give me a kosher answer, you know. Okay, this is a trick question. No, it's not a trick question. Really, tell me, think about it. Which of these roles is more powerful, has more influence? Tell me about it. Don't look at just yourself, right? Look in nature. Look in nature. In the animal kingdom. Look everywhere. There are family units there. Allah kept them there so we can look at them and take an example. My friends, if in a family, if the father disappears or the father dies, you will see that the family still stays together. The family stays together. But if the mother dies, that family unit is destroyed. Tell me which is more stronger. See, understand this. Yes, the man plays the outward role, the woman plays the inward role. But that inward role is more important than the outward role. It's more powerful. It has more power in it. That's why you see that Allah gave so much importance to the mother. He gives so much importance to the mother. Why? Because He knows that this is what's going to keep the society together. Keep everyone together. That's what it came for. That's it. Now all I want to say is this, and I want you to pay attention. The mother is so important and so powerful and so influential that Allah gave this ummah 13 fathers but only one mother. Understand this. 13 Masoom are there that are men, but only one Fatimah is there as a woman. That one Fatimah is enough to keep this nation together. This is where we see, my friends. And that Fatimah, 18 years old. But you see that in 18 years of her life is enough till even today, we all are affected by her and influenced by her. Really, this is her love. Fatima's love. You know, I don't want to read Masahib. This is not the day of Masahib and all that. But you know what? Sometimes when we talk about it, it does come emotional. How this happens. Really, my friends. You know, you want to see the love of a mother? Look at Fatimah. In your life. I'm saying in your life. I'll give you proof for it. Look at the role of a mother of Fatimah in your life as a mu'min, as a Shia. I'm giving this example to you. And I want you to take it. You know, I have seen many mothers in our community die. You know, their children, obviously, when a mother dies, you know, the children, no matter how old they are very much affected by the death of their mother. You know, the mother is the closest one in the family to everyone, you know, to the children and everyone. So when she dies, the children obviously is like very hard for them. And you know what? They will go on and they cry a lot more for the mother. But I have seen, you know, that no matter how much, how good the relationship was or whatever it was, the crying eventually dies down. The crying dies down. It's over, right? So, if you have stopped, if your mother has died, and if you have stopped crying for your mother, then you can go to her grave, wherever her grave is, go to her grave and tell your mother that I have understood how much you used to love me. The extent of your love. Because your crying will be to the extent of the love that your mother had for you. That's how much you will cry for your mother. Not more than that. However much she loved, you will cry for your mother to that extent. My friends, now understand. We stopped crying for our mothers, but there's one mother we haven't stopped crying for. And I told you, I want you to understand the love of Fatima and the power of Fatima. No matter how much we pass, we don't stop crying for Fatima and her children. You see this is power. This is power. Now you can say, Fatima, how much did you love me? That I am, even after I lost my mother, who took care of me, read stories to me, made food for me, did all these things, I stopped crying for her. But you, I cannot stop crying for. What is it that you have done? How much did you love me? Then we can start appreciating Bibi Fatima in our lives. This is how we know. Inshallah, we will, this is a blessed day. It's a Mother's Day for us. Rooze Madar, it's Mother's Day for us, because Bibi Fatima is our mother, and we celebrate Mother's Day on her birthday. And inshallah, it should be done in the proper way, that we should have like a Mother's Day of actually giving, and recognizing our mothers on this day. So with this, I will end the speech, and if there's any questions, we have few minutes, we can ask, take some questions from the audience. I don't want anyone to leave here without clarity. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and ask the questions, and then we'll do the ziyarat. Yes, brother.
So I have a question. Thank you so much for the lecture. So the quality you mentioned, Jalal and Jamal, open, the bad cop, good cop, right? That's the quality we need.
In the household, the role playing. It's a role playing.
Exactly. So what is the balance of poverty? I mean, how can we find the right balance here?
Well, you see, a bad cop and a good cop is a good example, right? Bad cop and a good cop. Why do they do that? Because one wants to instill fear, and when you have afraid, then you need a refuge. So there should be a place where the children can find refuge, and that's the mother, right? They should be able to find. But if both of them become like angry, it's very bad. It's very bad for a child to not have refuge in the house. They should have refuge in the house, of clinging to someone. In times, they did something wrong, they need to be disciplined. So you know what? There's somewhere where they need to go and find refuge. So yes, it is important. And that's the excitement of life, a husband, wife, and family. The excitement of this, of role playing, it's like an actual game. I tell the kids, like, listen, you're playing these games on like these game things, Call of Duty or something like that. And this life is a real game. And it's so beautiful that it's an actual game that has effect and influence in our life. Play the role game. Understand, Allah wants you to do that. He's making life exciting for you. Right? Allah says, وَمَا هَذِهِ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا لَهْوٌ وَلَهِبٌ. The life of this dunya is just a game. Play it like a game. Play it like a game, that he made it fun. And instead of that, we take everything so seriously, it's like, relax, no need to be serious, take it. And then that growth will come. That tarbiyat will come. Once the balance is found. Yes, brother?
How about if both sides are soft?
It's bad, because then they don't have any discipline. They're spoiled, right? They don't have any discipline. Let's say, for example, over here in America, right? Like, for example, we are hard on everyone except for criminals. Right? Except for criminals. For them, we have a rule. He is innocent until proven guilty. Everyone else is guilty. Oh, this guy's a criminal. This guy's a criminal. You're making him the president. But still, I'm saying, what happens, in this situation is that that's what happened. You spoil the people. You make them rotten. That's what's happening to the kids now. I don't want to say that, I mean, it's a hadith, that's why I'm saying it, right? Not me, so don't get angry at me. This hadith from Rasulullah. Allahumma salli. He spoke about Akhir al-Zaman, and in Akhir al-Zaman, he said that the wives will be insolent and the children will be filthy of mu'mineen. Mu'mineen's wives will be insolent, arrogant, don't listen, nushuz, and the children of mu'mineen are going to be filthy. Why? He says, woe on these parents who never took the time to discipline their children. Listen, that child who grows up will appreciate you more if you discipline them, would love you more. They will kiss your hands, thank you for stopping me at the right time from doing stupid things. They will love you more for that. Don't be afraid, because you care for them. And if you don't care, one cop, right, they came to, because, I used to live in Florida. In Florida is like Kansas, it's a red state. I don't know how it is here, but, I don't have that much experience. Florida is a very relaxed state when it comes to these things, right? So what happened is that a husband and wife had beaten their child, right, on the hand. So the marks showed on the hand, right? So the cops came, because the teacher told the cops came, and, the cops looked at the thing. So this is in Florida, right? So they told the parents, hey, listen, next time beat her on the butt. Not on the hand where it can be seen, all right? This is the cops saying it. Beat her on the butt, or somewhere else where it can't be seen. Don't beat her on the hands. Why? Because if you don't beat her up, eventually we will. Eventually we will, right? And that's what happens. You discipline them, make them right, and you know what? They'll be good for society, and they will thank you also for stopping them from doing wrong, for doing these things. Now, I'm not saying to beat your children up. That's not, I said it's an example from the cops, right? Islam doesn't allow that to happen, all right? In Islam, it's not allowed to beat your children in a way where you leave marks on them, A little, tap on the hand is enough. That's enough. No physical abuse, right, in Islam. But I'm saying what the cops said. So anyway, it spoils them. Yes, brother, go ahead.
Speaking of discipline, is there any age limit for the children
Right.
to start that?
Yes, you know the hadith, I'm sure you heard it many times, that till the age of 7, children should be treated like, kings, and princess, and from the age of 7 to 14, they should be treated like servants, and slaves. So that's the time where you need to discipline them, make them get used to hard work. Yes, earlier than that, you want to give them love and just make them like, whatever they desire, take it easy on them. No rules. Why? Because there's a whole philosophy behind it, But yes, that's the time. And then after that, when they go through the process of being hardened, then they become mature. They know what's right and wrong. Then you can treat them as an equal and take advice from them. They'll give you good advice. Why? Because they have been hardened. They went through those hardships. Right? So now they know. Otherwise, if a child is spoiled and all he does is like play on, his games, even he's like 25 years old, you're like, this is something wrong here. So there. Alhamdulillah. That's very good. No, it's bad, there's a lot more to it, but I just want to give you this golden rule, today, since you all are here. But, on the weekly basis that you heard from Abu Ali speaking, Sunday afternoons, we do have lectures here. The lectures, these weekends, is about Islamic education. So even if you can't come, it's online also, where you can go and listen online, so that we all can be together in the learning process. Because I want the community to grow together. Not that you come here once in a while and then you are like lagging behind the others who are like learning. So please, even if you're at home, Sunday afternoon after Dhuhr, the lecture is there about Islamic education. Right now is the topic, and Islamic education is deep, and so inshallah, please, if you can. And if you can't listen live, then there's recordings also. Yes, brother, there's recordings, right? Yes, it's recorded, and inshallah will be sent to the group. Yes, brother. Alaikum salam.
Will you be doing a lecture on those 0 to 7, 7 to 10?
Yeah, inshallah, let's wait till we get to a more time where we can do more stuff like Ramadan, where we have daily speeches or daily things, we can do that. But yes, we can do anything we want. And that's why I wanted to start this whole idea of tarbiyat in this community, so that I see a lot of young parents here, and they need the guidance, so, to know what to do with their children and how to deal with their children. Inshallah, for sure. I'll try to do that, inshallah, in the upcoming programs that we might be having. All right, anything else? I think that's it. Thank you so much for coming. May Allah bless you all. Let's make a dua for Imam al-Zaman, inshallah, on the birth of his mother. And inshallah, give him congratulations, and to all the mu'mineen around the world, with the recitation of the dua of Imam al-Zaman. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma kun liwaliyaka hujjat ibn al-Hasan salawatuka alayhi wa ala abaih fi hadhihi sa'a وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
Brothers and